You were led to actually do this. You had a
Yes.
calling. And
Yes.
your friend was a vessel in that moment to say, stick with it.
Yeah, they're excited about the idea of internet broadcast technology, but they also were very, very afraid of the idea.
Welcome back to Boss Up. I'm Nicole Jones. In this show, we talk about how to start, grow, and sustain your business. I'm excited to share with you guys a very special guest, Miss Janice Anderson. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm excited to have her here because today we're going to talk about all things in terms of your significant life, which is her business, and also some branding and consulting opportunities for you guys. So if you are someone who was looking to find your niche, your purpose, if you're looking to find out more information on branding and just looking for a consultant to help you, stay tuned for more information. Janice,
Yes.
Thank you for being here. I'm excited to talk all things great in terms of branding, in terms of finding your purpose in life, what drives you, and being able to hone in on those skills. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, how you got started, and what does that look like?
Wow, well, thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be here. I'm Janice Anderson, and actually, first, I am daughter of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
Yes.
That's something that's important to me to say and note. Secondly, I'm a wife to my handsome husband, Maurice Anderson. I'm the mother of 3 amazing daughters. I parent 3 girls, 3 different generations.
Wow.
Yes, I have a 22-year-old, a 13-year-old, and in 2 weeks, a 2-year-old.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing.
Yes. And so those are all the things I do personally, and then I run 2 businesses. My first business, Marua Consulting, where I help visionary leaders build, brand, and expand their visions through marketing, branding, and leadership development. And my most recent baby is just as old as my new baby. Yeah, 2 years, almost 3 years now, is Significant Life, where I have the awesome opportunity to help women of influence learn to live, lead, and serve from an anchored place.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
You have a lot of great things in the pot right now. The plate is full.
Yes,
for
yes,
sure.
ma'am. It is definitely full.
Well, I'm glad you had time for us today to share more information about your businesses, how you have an impact on the community. So tell us a little bit more about your start. I'll give you the floor in terms of which one came first. Was it Marua or A Significant Life?
Yes.
But how that plays a part into building your life, building your brand, building your business. I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch this show who are just like, I'm in this place where I want to grow. We've just went through, certain trials and tribulations in life. There's things happening globally. And I'm at the point where I just want to see growth within myself, within my business, because, I feel like I have something to offer into this world. Tell us a little bit more about how you kind of help serve in those different areas with these 2 different businesses.
Wow, well, that's a loaded question. I'll be happy to share. So I started, Marua was the first business, and it's so funny because I got my start very similar to this location. I was a church girl and a corporate girl. So I love Jesus, I love talking, but I love business.
Yep.
And so I leveraged my corporate training, my education in communication and marketing. And I was doing well in my corporate business, and I was wondering, could I do what I'm doing at work for my church? Right. Yeah, that's exactly how it started.
Wow.
So I was already a member of the evangelism ministry, and you would wonder, I don't know if you knew this or not, but it was actually at the time, it was Beulah Bible Church under Pastor E. Dewey Smith, and I was leader of the evangelism ministry, yes.
So it's safe to say you're an OG.
I am an
to
OG.
the household community.
Yes, I am. And in that role of leading our team for the evangelism ministry, I was like, what if I use what I do for marketing at my job for church?
Yep.
And the good thing about Pastor Smith, as long as we were not breaking any laws and as long as we were honoring the integrity of the word, he gave me reign to try new things. And I realized that some of my corporate strategies actually work for spreading the gospel. And I was like, wow.
It's like finding gold.
It is, because I didn't have to be a new person.
Yep.
I didn't have to, and so I would want to tell people, you don't have to be somebody new. whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is you want to create, whatever it is you want to build from where you are right now. And so I didn't go get a new set of skills. I just repurposed the skills that I already had.
Yes.
And so in repurposing the skills that I already had, I had far much more joy and excitement spreading the gospel than I did, spreading whatever message I was permeating at work. And so it's like, I didn't know it was going to be a business. Let's just say, I didn't know. Actually, if you would ask me, I would have said, I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't want to be an entrepreneur. All I knew is my people were struggling. And my people were God's people. And my people, we were weak at spreading our message. We would say things that no one is saying, like, oh, I want a Holy Ghost explosion. No one's saying that.
Nobody says that. That's not a real sentence. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
That could go over a lot of people's heads.
It could. And what was happening is when we were going door to door and we were talking to people, they didn't want to hear church talk. They wanted to know, could you reach me in my heart? Could you reach me in my home? I'm hungry. Our family is in disarray. Whatever it is ailing, And so when we came with the gospel, we had to come with something accessible to them. And that's marketing. That's communication. Marketing is just communicating in a way that is compelling and will compel people to take the action you want them to take or the action that is best for them to take.
Yeah.
And I realized that's how I trained our evangelism team, and we were pretty doggone effective. Our team was effective at winning people to Christ because we took the guesswork out and the church speak out. And so my next corporate job was actually in a faith-based space. And so I was like, well, I don't have to quit my job because I'm working in a faith space. And I was director of marketing and PR for, at the time, the largest internet broadcast technology service provider to faith-based organizations, which was Streaming Faith at the time. And in that role, I served pastors and Christian leaders all over the globe. I mean, we were helping them to get their message out using internet broadcast technology known as streaming. I'm going to date myself when I say this, but at that time, the only streaming platforms were like MySpace.
Oh my gosh. So you were literally at the turning point when a lot of these things were happening digitally.
Yes. I mean, I remember we were talking pay-per-click and things were so expensive. And I remember, pastors were excited about the idea of internet broadcast technology, but they also were very, very afraid of the idea. Because if someone were watching me on their computer, why would they come to church? And so we ran into some complications with some pastors, and they were like, their members were staying at home and watching the broadcast at home. And because they're watching at home, we had to put in new technology that would do geo-blocking. We would block people who were in certain zip codes, so we make sure that they would come to church. I mean, yes.
Wow.
Oh, the times. I can't believe I'm saying this. But anyway, so I was doing that, doing well, getting paid well, enjoying myself, working with people that I love, working with the message that I love, but I felt there was a pull for more. And so for people who are wondering, I don't know what my purpose is, I was that girl. I didn't know my purpose. I actually was crying out to God all the time, like, why couldn't I just have one thing that I was good at, one thing that I can excel at? My friends were like, they were in their profession. I know I was born to teach, and I was born to do hair. And I was like, I'm born to do a lot of things. And it didn't feel good. Looking at me now, it's like, man, it turned into something beautiful. At the time, it didn't.
Yeah.
But I just leaned into whatever was showing up at the moment. Whatever arose at the moment, I went with that. And so I remembered the tug, and I was driving on 75, going to work, coming from Henry County, headed to Marietta. And the Lord was like, it's time to go. And I'm like, go where?
Right.
Where are we going?
Right.
I got a corporate card. What you mean? I have a good, listen,
I get a cushy job.
Listen, I get paid every 2 weeks. I have a corner office. I'm traveling. My daughter is in private school and I could afford it. What do you mean go? But he's like, yeah, go. It's time to leave. And I didn't know what that was going to look like. I just knew I felt that pull. I will like to caution everyone who's feeling that pull right now. And I will say this, I didn't jump just because I felt the pull. I didn't. And I'm very excited to say that I had counselors and people who love me that I could share this with. And when I shared, I'm going to leave my job, one of my friends, Mike White, I remember like it was yesterday, he said, okay, You going to quit? I said, yeah, I'm going to put my resignation notice in. I'm going to start a business. You know, I've been working with my coach, and it's time for me to start my business. And he was like, well, you don't have to tell me all of your business, but I just have a couple of questions for you. I was like, okay, what? You know, I'm ready.
You ready?
What's he going to say?
Like, shoot, I'm ready.
What are you going to say? There's nothing you can say to deter me from this. And he was like, well, Janice, for as long as I've known you, you said that it's important for you that you pay your daughter's tuition and that you pay your mortgage. I said, yep. He said, financial freedom was important to you. I said, it is. And he said, if you walk away from your job today, do you have enough money to pay your mortgage for 6 months and your daughter's tuition for the next year?
Wow.
And I said, no. He said, this is what I'm going to tell you. Scripture says, the blessings of the Lord make one rich and add to it no sorrow. You starting this business, I believe it is a blessing from the Lord. But if you walk away today, you will feel sorrow. And I did not want to hear that. Do you hear me? I didn't want to hear it. I was a faith girl.
Wow.
I love Jesus. I watched him do so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, me and God against the world, we can do this. He's the one that gave me this idea. But I heeded the counsel. And so I decided that, you know what, I don't have that money in the bank today, but that'll be my goal. I'll make a goal to save 1 year's tuition for Jasmine to go to school and 6 months of my mortgage.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to do. And when I get the money, resignation notice is going to be turned in. 2 weeks later, one client paid me the equivalent to, 1 year's tuition and 1 year's mortgage.
Are you serious?
I am so serious.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and that's how I knew
Talk
it was
about
God's
obedience.
idea.
Yes.
It was God's idea.
Yes.
And so what the thing is, I'll tell you this, because it happened like that, and you know, now 15 years later, knowing that is how it started, it gave me the fuel to stick with it when everything went crazy.
Yep.
Because this was in 2006. Everybody knows in 2007, 2008, the market went, and the first person to go was the consultant.
Yeah. Yep.
But I knew God called me to this because I had confirmation upon confirmation that this was his idea and not my idea. So that's where it all started.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
That is a testimony. And it's even more of a testament because you've been in this business, like you just mentioned, 15 years. Yes. You were at the time when you developed this at the cusp of a lot of digital technology changes happening. MySpace, Facebook was coming in around that time. Yes. You mentioned the pay per click and that your audience, your clients were trying to get an idea and try to understand, does this technically make sense for my business? And now we're in a place where Facebook ads is literally, you're paying per click now.
Listen, you literally are paying per click. Do you hear me?
That's a norm.
Yes.
So, and to now be in this place where your business has now thrived over the years, you've now grown into another outlet through your business, which we'll talk about in the second half of this particular show. But it essentially allowed you to see another wave of changes because of the pandemic and just different things that you sort of had been prepared for at the time of 2006, 2007 with the market crash. And now you see that repeat again years later. But the strategy and the process along the way has allowed you to develop in a place to be equipped to actually be able to handle a lot of those different changes. And wow, what a blessing that was to get the first client.
Girl, talk about it was unbelievable. I was just like, I can't believe this is happening to me. I'm so excited. Going to that school and giving them that check.
I mean,
I was like,
that is just divine, simply divine. And it just shows that you were led to actually do this. You had a calling and your friend was a vessel in that moment to say, stick with it.
Yeah.
A few more months, which it really only essentially took a few more weeks for actually to get to that point. Well, there's more for this show, guys. As you know, we have some more to talk about in terms of Significant Life, your other business, and how this all now comes full circle and how you can become even more involved and find your way in a similar situation of finding your purpose. How you just shared your story. You have clients who are in the Significant Life program also kind of finding and developing those same stories and branching out. So stay tuned for the next episode because there's more to come.